Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for a die Guam, hear that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Ha good nya to man, everybody has one. No whoosh on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya to month, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies bridge when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.
It took just 24 hours for us to lose control of the city. Tonight, anything here? Gotham's relying on one man to save us all.
Take a deep breath. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were outside the outlets when someone tried to...
Under these statutes, you don't have the authority.
Responsible gun ownership is the law. Coming from that appellate.
Now,
Before they realize what we know.
I understand the.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Tell people to come down and say goodbye to Amber for the next month.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Just Pirates Cove in beautiful Ipan Talafofo, Tocha, Guam, USA, the beautiful southeast coast. People wonder why I never lost my accent. It's because I'm still on the southeast coast. Now, this is episode 43, season 2, and it's May 24th, 2026. We got great things to talk about today. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, and by the way, we'll be having our great barbecue tomorrow for Memorial Day. Now, Charlie's here,
Hey.
the doc, Amber Bach, myself. And we'll start off with some of the things Amber has in the gift shop. What do you got, girl?
Okay, as always, we have Don Carlos books, Guam with the history, liberation, and CBs and super forts.
Yay.
All three of these on sale. We're limited on the brief history. We have a lot of the liberation and a few of the super fort.
And we have some hats, good for the summer, for the ladies. We have these in different colors,
These are quality embroidered hats. And what's the discount on those?
30%.
30% off on the hats.
And we just restocked on our tie-dye map shirts.
These have a map of Micronesia and our logo on them.
And we have the Yokoi shirts. We have tank tops, t-shirts, and long sleeves.
So 3 types on these.
Ooh.
Very popular shirt. We sold out a while back, and now we have plenty.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell out soon. They're going fast.
They're selling fast? Yeah. We got to send one to Tom in Hawaii, don't forget.
And then we have our tie-dye t-shirts.
We get a new shipment of those?
Yeah.
Not recently, but we still have a lot of them.
These are pretty.
And our Guampa and Guama shirts.
Designed by Stephen Pleadwell. Is that the same? Oh, that's a nice fuchsia pink. Show the front. Center, skull and crossbone, the logo.
Beady.
What else?
Our Mogold honey.
Now, we're going to run out of this. We have to harvest next week. So if you want to get some good, nutritious, healthy honey, come down soon. What else? We got some hot sauces. Ooh.
Hot sauce. We have 6 different flavors, and we have some on sale, 50% off.
Whoa. Come down and get that and burn yourself up a little bit.
Speaker.
Pika pika. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Hey, Jeff, before we let Amber go, could we just do a shout out that we might be having to say aloha to her in the next couple of weeks, because she apparently has gotten orders to go to Hawaii. So we enjoy her presence, but it looks like her time with us might be limited. So folks out there, come down and say hello, and then maybe goodbye to Amber while she finishes up her career here at the Jeff's Pirates Cove. But what it presents to our community is an opportunity to talk about the employment opportunities here at the Cove. Could you speak to maybe jobs that this summer people are going to need to know about if they're looking for a job?
We're looking for servers, bartenders, line cooks, cashiers, a little bit of everything, you know?
And then maybe a manager.
Yeah.
So there'll be some management opportunity. So for folks who are dependents, or just folks who are looking for a job in this new economic climate, college students coming home, as long as you focus on the work, because again, this is a really important place to work. And then for those really good high school students who know how to follow instructions. Jeff, can you talk to the training opportunities that you provide here at the Cove?
Yes, well, we have 48 employees in many different positions, and I've got to tell you, if you come here, I'll expect you to work hard. But to get by in life, learning to work hard is a big benefit. We'll train you from, if you want to be a server, we'll train you as a busser. If you want to work in the kitchen, we'll train you on the line. Lots of jobs available. And it's all day hours. You don't have to work at night, because we close at 7. That's the latest we're open on the weekend. And military dependents, like Doc said, you're very welcome to come down and apply. I know there's a lot of military dependents living in EPAN right now. And Amber didn't mention, but she's got to find her replacement before she's allowed to leave. So, you better come down and apply for her job. And she's a living genius, so you got some big shoes to fill. She does the payroll, she does the scheduling, she goes in the kitchen and beats people up.
And she combs Jeff's beard.
Not all the time, but when I tell her to, she goes. But we're looking for good people all the time. So it's right here. I like people that live in the South. Much easier to get here when you live in Inarahan or Talafofo or Ipan or Jonia than it is if you live up in Dedido. Maritzo, that's 15 miles. That's about the limit, but we have had some great employees from Maritzo that lasted quite a while.
Well, and it's a shame that folks in Dedido and Jugo might be thinking they're out of luck, but for you to maybe push your mass transit folks to provide a solution, because we do need to let people be able to work wherever they want to on this island that's only 30 miles long. And we have a lot of new buses apparently that federally funded. So Tyrone Taitano, if you're still working at mass transit, please try to get people down south so they can work in jobs here. It's hard enough for businesses to, really tough for workers that don't allow of the successful businesses on the challenges that we face globally as well as locally. If our government of Guam can just get out of the way, maybe places like Jeff wouldn't have such a hard time. But be that as it may, this place is packed on the weekends. We want it to get packed every day of the week so that everybody can enjoy Jeff's. But I think you need to be able to staff all the hours of the day. Today would be a great day for anybody who's looking for an opportunity to work at Jeff's, is to come down and see how it really does work. It's a busy Sunday, and this is really the beginning, I believe, of the summer. A lot of college students coming in from their final exams, and they'll be wanting to party with the pirate, and then maybe they'll want to get a job. We'll see what happens. And we're already seeing, I guess, reservations for a lot of families. You talk a little bit about how you could book Cove. Is it big enough to have both a family celebration as well as a regular restaurant operation going on here, Jeff? How do you guys handle that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like if somebody's going to have a party, we usually just run our normal business and set up a buffet for the party. We have my alma mater coming Thursday night, George Washington Senior School with 200 students.
Are you serious?
Yeah. We're going to give them all a bandana because, I graduated in 67.
Right.
And this is 26.
Yeah.
Class of 26. So, yeah, a long time away. Have a great time with them. But yeah, we do a lot of special occasions, birthdays, graduation. If you want me to throw your ash in the ocean, we can always do that. Life, whatever you want. You come down and you see Mark and look at the menu and tell us what we have a lot of space. We have facility up to 700 people here, and the A-frame alone can do 200, and then we can spread beyond there we need to go. But you're always welcome. Buffet is the way to go. Makes it fast.
Now, Amber, you've been here for a while and you've seen a lot of things. Bikers who are going around the island suddenly show up at Jeff's wanting to pee or get a beer. So how should Cove so that they don't get disappointed that they have to wait a little while? What's the best way for a large group like today coming from church, or a bunch of military guys coming out of the barracks deciding to come down to the Cove? What do you suggest to them? So
Call reservations. Yeah.
79 COV.
Or 789 to go.
And
8646.
You have a website with interaction there too?
Yes, we do, but it's always better to call because
Do it personally. And then our partner company
in the house.
You want to put a plug for your business? You guys looked like you were busy last night.
We were. We had the Coast Guard had an event there, so we hosted a lot of the coasties. There was a promotion get together, and it was a good celebration there. And then we also had some folks that were from off island, Palau, Saipan, that were celebrating. Family that are graduating today. Huge shout out to UOG class of 2026.
Wow!
Yeah, you guys made it. Some of my students are graduating today, so I'm really super proud of taking the next step. And maybe they're the ones that are kind of take some time off before they kind of figure things out. Maybe they can work here with you, Jeff, or myself, or with you at the clinic.
Yes.
And so, but tomorrow is one of the things that we wanted to do, that I really wanted to do, and is really provide free. The meal will be on us for the Gold Star families.
Wow.
I know a lot of them, and we've become very close in the last couple of years, and it's always heartwarming. It's always it really touches your heart every time you hear their story, right? So their sons and daughters have the ultimate sacrifice for the the defense of our nation, for our freedom that we have, and wives, husbands, daughters, sons, and so for the families that come out tomorrow. The meal is on us. So come out during lunchtime, come out during dinner, have a great seat. I'll be there. We look forward to sharing that that meal with you.
Just in case you don't know, he's talking about beans and barrel, and is it appropriate? It's Mighty. You're in the village. Mighty.
Correct. It is in the village. The easiest way to are where the old fire used to be.
In Cosmo.
Yeah.
Young. Yeah. Also known as. You guys have become iconic now.
No, and for those who know it as Cosmos, there is a front door. Don't have to come through the back. If you want to, you can come through the back.
You guys have really cleaned up that space, though. I don't remember it ever being that airy and green. It used to be kind of a dark kind of, seedy looking area, but it looks like you're developing sort of a back patio overlooking the river.
Yeah, so that's one of the we have. I mean, obviously, we do have a permit for once a month. We are able to open up for a beer garden.
Oh,
We're gonna sort of line up as the summer do the swing.
and just, I'm sorry if it's too information, but it looks the political events that are going to be your spot.
We definitely are open to host. So if you do have any events, let us know. We've had a lot. We had the Bar Association on Friday, which is just absolutely, and they're very strict. They gave us a time and they said, hey, listen, we want happy hour, and that's happy hours from 5 to 7, and then like
These were the lawyers.
right. Yeah, and so good conversations. A lot of them were saying, here's my business card in case you need some advice.
Yeah, that's right. That's a topic. We're going to come to that.
So that was a big topic of discussion. Obviously everybody has their own opinion. Jeff and I, we have our own thoughts as well. So, at the end of the day, we were trying to not to sway away from the beans and barrels, but at the end of the day, the conversations that we had that night was because everybody asked you like, hey, what happened? But then you also have to go back into the whole evolution of this as to why we wanted to run.
Yeah.
And as soon as, you start talking about our 10 planks and what we wanted to do while we were doing this, everybody really was looking for a different option. At the end of the day, we were it. And so now we've got to be able to work through that. But a great discussion.
We were going to bring it in a little later, but no, we'll do it now because on Tuesday, apparently there will be a meeting about the issue that Charlie's alluding to, which is the fact that the Guam Election Commission decided that Jeff's name is Jeffrey and that somehow they couldn't figure out that the pirate and Charlie were entitled to be run as independents in this next upcoming gubernatorial election. And so they basically disrespected the 500 people who bothered to write down their name in support of this candidacy. And it's really thrown the whole campaign into turmoil. I think it's put the pirate in a really foul mood. It's put me in a foul mood. I mean, we are all putting a big effort to try to give people a choice.
Well, Doc, the day that we turned in our petition,
they looked at it.
They looked at it. Yeah. They saw Jeff. They saw Jeffrey.
Yes.
They stamped it. They accepted it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Instead of saying, "Oh, can you just change this? Help us." Remember?
Yeah, they were here.
That day, they helped us complete our applications. And if you also remember, I asked Maria when she was here, well, this is before we decided we were going to run. What if I ran as a write-in? And she said, no, don't run as a write-in. That's too many wasted ballots. That's too many problems, right? But now they're pushing us to that kind of thought. You know what I mean? It's pretty bad, right?
Well, and that's the thing. Let's just clear the air. You guys were sincere in your efforts to run. You made a big effort to get all these petitions. You particularly, Jeff, you were face to face with people who were supporting you. They knew you. They know you. You're iconic on this island. So there's no confusion about who Jeff Pleadwell, the pirate, is. The Guam Election Commission, though, is trying to act like they live somewhere else and they have no idea, what these petitions are all about. And they're basically letting down the 400, 500 people whose names are on these petition ballots that somehow they feel are invalid. But now this meeting apparently is to settle this once and for all. So there is a chance that reason will prevail, or maybe attorneys will clarify the situation, or Ron McNinch will be heard, because this whole primary process is foul from the beginning, according to Professor McNinch. So, but
it's obvious by the form itself. There's flaws that have never been fixed. I mean, if you're going to say it has to be the legal name, you should write in there legal name.
Right.
So then, if one of our helpers or volunteers is taking signatures, they see that it says legal name, and they put in the legal name. And there's a lot of flaws on the sheet, and it doesn't matter. If it works against the independents, that's what counts, right?
Well, and then sorry, Charlie, did you want to add to the conversation?
No, I mean, I think pretty much the we received the official letter from the commission, and we pretty much understand where the board stands on the situation. So
What's the meeting on Tuesday about
I
that?
think that the meeting on Tuesday is just to verify the additional documents that were presented
By
by us. They were not
So,
able to meet
well, but the fact that they're meeting at 5:30 on Tuesday afternoon,
a special session.
a special session, does mean then that they're gonna at least maybe make an effort to confirm or reverse their ruling as to your eligibility to run in the primary. Right. So all you're gonna win is the opportunity to run, angry as you are, against the other people that are the 5 other teams that are running. But let's face it, this this situation has got a lot of other people interested in you. I mean, I've never seen so many people talking about the gubernatorial candidacy and all these rigmaroles, and it looks like the majority of people are favorable towards your candidacy, because a lot of people think you're getting screwed, you're getting ripped off, that the Guam Election Commission is cheating or somehow foul and trying to protect the status quo, the Republicans and the Democrats, which was the whole reason we supported your candidacy in the first place. You are independent of the Republicans and the Democrats, and it does seem like this whole situation is to perpetuate that two-party system, which we believe is foul.
Well, another thing, there wasn't enough time between the dispute and when the ratification was going to take place.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So they said, well, no matter what, we can't change it. That's not good, right?
Right.
There should be a thing in there if it says it's 2 weeks for open government law that has to be known ahead of time, then they shouldn't be ratifying the candidates until 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
In case
And as
it
far as
is
I
a
can tell,
dispute, right?
a lot of people criticize this primary process as doing the jobs of the Republicans and the Democrats. They can decide for themselves who they want to run in the general election, which is the real election. This primary has nothing to do with independent candidates. You guys have no one else to answer to.
It hurts the whole system.
In the whole
because
system, you're right.
if they voted for me and Charlie, that means they can't vote for any senator.
In this primary.
But that doesn't seem fair to me either. I mean, it should be, you can vote, for independent and you can vote for senators, because there's no independent senators running, right?
Yeah.
So to have a choice, which is supposed to be a democratic place, right?
Right.
So, I mean,
It should go.
I mean, if anything, one of the things that, at least I'm going to take on is to ensure that we do everything to change the system, because the system is broken. It's a two-party system, which shouldn't be that way. It should be an open system for the people to allow it and select who they want. And independent, if you look at the registered voters, right, the largest population of non-voters are independent because they haven't gone one way or the other.
Right.
They go either side depending on who the candidate is. So I think that the ability to have somebody on the general election has to be there, but currently it's not, and we need to fight for it. We really need to fight for changing the law moving forward.
Yeah, and I for one, as a citizen of Guam, just want to apologize to the both of you who have really just done an amazing thing to step forward boldly and take upon this responsibility and this opportunity. You expose yourself and your businesses to criticism. Hopefully people have shown you that they're voting with their feet to support you. The Guam Bar Association apparently has done so, and other political candidates and families from the South. They patronize your businesses as well as mine. I take that as a vote of confidence, and we try our best to live up to their expectations.
But it's really, listen, for whether you liked what we were doing, whether you supported what we were doing, where you felt that threatened what we were doing, at the end of the day, what we wanted was the best thing for Guam. So, because I felt like there was a slight change in some personalities that I've had, which I considered friends, and it was almost like when people would find out that you voted for Trump, they'd be like, we can't be friends anymore. You're like, and so I feel that's it's politics, but don't confuse politics with what we're trying to do with the island, with business. We're always open, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, independent, not just. I mean, our business has always been to serve the people. So don't take it out upon our business, not say we're not going to support it because we were trying to do this. I felt a little bit of that, and now things are changing a little bit. I feel like they're warming up again, which is really, I feel the warmth coming back when I meet people. I feel a little,
Please
shaking.
keep making Charlie feel warm. That's important to us because it is tough, right? I mean, again, you just wanted good for the community, and there's a lot of issues that we're speaking to. But yeah, again, just as a guy who's watched you do this, I can see the sincerity, the heart, really the courage, and so we thank you both. And I'm going to ask my friends and neighbors to vote for you in the primary. We got 70 days to sort this mess out. Yes, there's an election commission meeting, but let them do what they're going to do. A lot of it's hot air, and we're going to change it. But on August 1st, you get to change the world. Let's get these guys a lot of votes on August 1st. Let's show the world that this can happen. And don't vote for the Republicans and the Democrats. Leave them alone if that's going to foul your vote up. The one vote you make is for Charlie and for the pirate.
And and the other irony is that we're getting a lot of discussions from the the momentum that we built as far as, well, since you guys are not running, who will you be supporting? Who will you sway the pirate nation to support? And it's going to be very critical. And I think that Jeff and I, we have to sit down over another pizza and some seltzer water down in Tumon and discuss this, because it's going to be very impactful. And I think that we could make a difference in sway, because not only do we have like the Filipino community, not only do we have the veteran community, but now we have the Pirate Nation community. And so I think that's a group that we could sway the election one way or the other.
Well, I can tell you that a lot of people are very disappointed in the system. The Guam Election Commission and the way the government of Guam operates, and the fact that we are business people, we are not politicians, we don't know all the rules, we don't have a legislative staff that sits around and goes through every name and makes sure it's correct. We ran because we want the government to change. We don't want to see 80 cents on the dollar spent on labor. We want to see new schools. This Simon Sanchez, is there a big problem with that again?
We need to talk about it, because regardless if you guys are going to be the next governor, somebody's going to be the next governor. And apparently that Simon Sanchez High School thing is right at the top of the barrel of bad things that are going on. Can you speak to what you know about it, Charlie?
Well, but before, we got to fight. And I made a video, and I even got messages back saying, like, in the video, I rip up, it says the establishment, I rip it up. And so, I got a lot of feedback questions, and they're asking me, like, who's the establishment, right? Who is the establishment? And it's, if you feel that you're not doing the right thing and you work for Gov Guam, you're the establishment, and we want to be able to come after you.
Right? 13,000 employees strong.
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing, the number one agency right now that's on top of my list right now, which I'm going to start writing op-eds, and just so that the community can get all the information and the reality is DOA. The director and the deputy director need to go. You can't wait for the next administration to come in. The administration DOA right now is falling apart. Because the employees, one, they don't know what to do. They're silent. They feel that they're being managed through, communist regime in DOA, and a lot of folks are ready to get out of there. And if that DOA crumbles,
Politics, right?
Everything else crumbles. So DOA, the governor, lieutenant governor, you guys need to make a move fast. You need to get rid of the director and deputy director of DOA fast.
They're not going to be one.
Them fighting words. Them fighting words.
But I'm saying they're not going to do that. But we want to make sure that the community knows that, because there's a lot of disgruntled employees because they're afraid to stand up. And so, but the minute they have an exit, the minute that they have an opportunity to leave DOA, they're going to leave DOA. And if that happens, we're going to get more people that have no idea, learning on the job training, that just going to continue to push the ball down the road. 6 to 8 months to hire and onboard people to different departments. The departments right now are hurting. GOFA's hurting with people to get on board. GWA's hurting. I mean, across the board, not GW, across the board, there are folks right now, departments that are needing people. but DOA is not able to move fast enough.
What you're saying is disheartening because we're going through a budget process right now with the Department of Administration, Government of Guam, to find out how they're going to plan on spending $1.5 billion. And this is 2026, many, many years after Jeff invented this particular T-shirt, which says Club GG, which is Gov Guam. And Jeff, I hate to do this to you, but could you stand up and just show the boys and girls out there what the back of this, it says of the corrupt, by the corrupt, and for the corrupt. And this shirt, you produced this obviously out of passion.
40 years ago,
40
Doc.
years ago. This is
And
a
it still
40-year
applies. This is a Greg Flores original.
That is a classic. It's a museum piece one day. But I think you should reproduce it because it speaks, I think, to the heart of what Charlie's talking about.
Can you accept the fact we're corrupted? Come on, man.
I don't accept it. No, I refuse to accept it.
This
And you
is the
shouldn't
problem
either.
with you. You know?
Those of you out there that are, either chuckling or furious, change it. This doesn't have to be the case. New York City used to be run this way. It was called Tammany Hall. Louisiana had the same problem with their governors. California has had corruption. Everybody's had corruption. Hawaii's had. So can we clean up our act? I mean, we're finally getting money, right? We have $1.5 billion in the government of Guam. So you can't say it's because we don't have the resources. There's a boom going on. The military's deciding to just rain down money that hopefully will benefit our people. Let's face it, it's for the Department of War purposes. So it's not for our good, but there is an economic opportunity there. You were going to say something, sir.
Agreeing with you. And, the entire government, the US government, all the governments that we've been through, they've all had some type of corruption. What we want to do here, we're not saying that we want to be perfect. Like, we want to say like what we say is if things are doing quasi the wrong way, but are getting to the standards that we need for our people to live, the school budgets, we got them through procurement. Now, if we put them into and they're running well, however they got the school buses, if the system works and now we're moving people from down here working at the Cove and nobody is dependent on their vehicles, paying for gas, which is $6. They're making $9.25 and they're paying $6. It just doesn't add up. It's crazy. We should be okay. Listen, we're not perfect. Well, we got the buses, but
We're just a pirate nation. We're all sinners here. We're not saints, and we're not going to let perfect get in the way of good. We don't accept corruption. We don't, if the corruption helps is what he's saying, maybe. I mean, the best time to make money is when, there's blood in the streets. But we just don't like it when people are being selfish while others are suffering. Right. Our brothers and sisters in Saipan don't have power. Their water is contaminated. They've been devastated by a typhoon, and we're throwing them pittances because we're too busy fighting with each other about Sanchez High School and the Guam Memorial Hospital. I mean, we have white people problems over here in Guam. Can we get a grip? The corruption that's killing us is hurting our own children, our own community, our own people. Don't lie to yourself, Josh, while you sit there. That hot dog thing, that comfort cuts thing, that was terrible, man. A lot of people had faith in you. We believed in you. You sat here and you sold me on being a man of honor and somebody who wants to help his community. Then root out the corruption in your own house. Dude, root out the corruption in Adelup. Do it now. He's saying kick out Ed Byrne at the Department of Administration. I can't disagree because Mr. Byrne, he sounds really suave. He sounds like he knows what the shit he's doing. But why is it then we can't pay our fucking bills? Why is Sanchez High School, that procurement process, which is your problem,
and
your problem,
and the deputy director, what I understand,
you keep running away from your responsibilities, man.
Let's talk about GFMIS. You guys are making me.
Go, do it.
What's that?
I don't know. She wants us to get more passionate.
Okay, never mind. GFMIS, like that was supposed to fix DOA in the entire government.
Oh, true. Yes.
You're talking about the software system that we spent $40 million on?
And going. And we still haven't been able to.
And that was Ed Byrne's idea. Yeah. Ed Byrne attacked the Chamorro company. What was it? The one by Taitsuno, saying that they're corrupt because they got an AS400 ancient technology. Well, the thing is, according to Ed Byrne, it doesn't work. So,
but I mean,
talk, preacher.
I think right now that even with the deputy director, for what I'm hearing and getting feedback from inside sources in the higher echelon of DOA is that she is not qualified to be the deputy director.
What a shock! Are you kidding? Somebody in the government of Guam not qualified for that position where they make $105,000 a year?
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm getting
those-
heartbroken.
but you know those, but I mean that goes back to, and that's just one glimpse of the establishment, and then going back to Simon Sanchez. Again, we go back to these, and it's they FOIA'd the recordings, and so they have recordings except one that wasn't uploaded to the cloud. It got erased somehow.
Wow.
One recording. They do have the transcript.
How convenient.
They do have the transcript, but they don't have the now. There was two things that happened last week. One, the governor pushed the bill, right, to move forward and build Simon Sanchez. Number two, the recordings came out. There were things that were said in those recordings that made everybody backpedal and say, maybe we're not going to vote on this one right now because there were certain things that were said in the recordings, and I'm not saying.
And Adeluke agreed. The governor agreed not to push the board.
Because of what was said in those recordings.
Because their hand was caught in the cookie jar, Charlie.
Well, I mean, there were statements made there.
What were those statements?
Well, one of them was about possibly changing the policy and that they needed to pay senators, donate to senators a little bit more.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Yeah. So who are those senators? That's the big question. So we're building a board.
Hi, Chris Duenas.
We're building a
Hi,
board.
Chris Duenas.
We're building a board right now with,
Hey, Tony.
with
How you
question
doing?
marks on who are these senators.
Come on, guys.
Well, there was another thing where now they started cutting out half of the good items in the budget that were going to be built.
For the school.
Because now that money is not worth as much as it was before, so they're going to eliminate the auditorium I was hearing, and
you don't need
many
an
other
auditorium.
things.
That brings you to another question. I'm like, most of the negotiations are always done through, they record and they have transcripts.
Yeah.
Now, if this is the style, this is what the government calls negotiations, I'm really interested in seeing I want to listen to other recordings for other things that have gone through the.
Oh, you mean like a $1 billion hospital? Let's switch the focus on Simon Sanchez. This is only $200 million, right? They're claiming, because among the other things on that transcript was that they were going to negotiate the the ceiling on how much ultimately Cortec was going to get paid. So let's just be specific. Cortec won this bid. Apparently, they're saying they're going to make more contributions to senators just so they can grease the wheel and potentially raise the ceiling on how much they ultimately are going to get paid, because they weren't the lowest bidder. They came in with a high bid. And so this is why we're in this procurement protest. The guys who lost it, one of whom is a manager or the owner of the venue right across the street from your place, Phil Roberto, he's saying he got screwed because he put in a lower bid and he can't understand why his bid wasn't accepted. Cortex says, we do it better than you, and we'll do it more expensive than you, and we'll still get the contract. And then we'll raise our price. And we won't build the auditorium. So they start modifying the contract even before they break ground. I think that's the stink.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the part that I don't understand, because I remember going through a similar process when we bid for about 5 years ago. The Guam opened up a bid for a government-wide drone training. They wanted to implement this drone technology into the government agencies, so they put out this bid. There were several companies that bid, and based on the grading, they took the number one company. With the number one company that came out the grading, they beat them down so low that they had to walk away and say, listen, we can't do it for this price. And let's just say it was closer to that. They were trying to beat it down for 70 million. When we saw the award of the company, that we were like, if this company gets it, it's a little fishy. But when this company did get the bid, they got a bid for 225 million. I'm sorry, 225,000. Sorry,
225,000.
Yeah. No, the drone is still barely.
Yeah.
So they were beating us down for 70,000, but the award went out for 225.
Wow.
So we don't understand how those negotiations happened from when we had this based on the requirements. So
unless DOA is corrupt and the governor's office is corrupt, and I've identified people
What do
that
you
they
mean,
want.
unless?
Right, well, I'm just trying to help them out. So the thing is, Cortec was the company that lost the previous bid and protested. And that's why Simon Sanchez wasn't built apparently 5 or 7 years ago, right? Now Cortex's the winner, and they're apparently trying to modify the bid now so that they get more money. And that's where we're stuck. So again, let's just be clear. Cortec is the one that's screwing over the Simon Sanchez High School students, right? That community up in Jigo that doesn't have a school, and so all your kids have to go down to Tumuning for double session. It's Cortec's fault. And Josh Tenorio is a former Cortec alumni. You need to talk to him, right? Because he must have some connection with Mr.
Has been known to get all these bids because they donate to all the senators.
Well, have they no shame?
In the pocket.
They're ruining the education of our community.
They can get away with it, so why have any shame?
Yeah, that's a good point, right?
You know?
Hey, folks out there, just let them get away with it, and then you'll continue to have government that sucks.
Well, I mean, I think that's the blame. I mean, you can look at it so many different ways. The way that I'm looking at it is, you know, the folks that are involved in the government that are allowing this to happen are the ones to blame.
Who'll be that? That'd be me. That'd be us. That'd be the voters.
That's the boys.
Whoever's sitting around the table negotiating with the private entities.
Well, okay, let's be specific. It's Vince Ariola.
Okay.
It's Linda Ibanez, and that's at DPW. It's the guys that got hired to be the middlemen, like Gerard Bautista and what's his name, the former chief of staff. You know, let's just put names on it. These are local folks who claimed they were going to break ground on Simon Sanchez High School, and now we're finding out you lied to us.
And that's who
Joe Duenas. Joe Duenas over at whatever the name of his company.
That's what should be. The focus should be on that group that allowed this to happen. Because if they knew that there was something wrong, they should have raised their hand and said, no, this is not.
Or how about not take the day off? I mean, it's Memorial Day weekend. It's a 3-day weekend. I hope you guys are working on this, right? Because the Simon Sanchez High School kids are graduating right now, like the Israelites. They've been wandering into the desert. Can we help them out? The thing is that the lie comes from the fact that everybody says this is screwed up, it's complicated, and it's corrupt. But then they go home. They don't stay. You were, I presume, up late at night when you started your business to try to get it off the ground. You were still doing it, right? Jeff does it, right? I do it. Can you be that serious about the government? Because you're getting paid to be the servant of the people. And this Simon Sanchez High School thing, it ain't that hard, buddy. Building a high school ain't that hard. You know what's harder? Building Donkey Village, it got built during the same damn time that you've been fighting over Simon Sanchez High School. You know what also hard? Building a cost you less in this environment. It's really tough. Plus, they're doing it on swampland, right? So they got some, sediment problems. You know what also is tough? Building data centers where no one's ever built a data center before. All these things are happening.
The prison.
The prison didn't happen, right? Prison didn't happen. Guam Memorial Hospital didn't happen. Simon Sanchez High School didn't happen. That's the point. Government of Guam is failing in the middle of a very difficult time. We are at war, yet the private sector is doing stuff.
Now, and the flip side to all this is the fact that, we also get a lot of folks that come to the restaurant and say, you know what, I love you. I listen to you guys on Sunday. I watch you guys on Sunday. They give good feedback because you know what, there's a lot of stuff that you guys are saying that we can't say because of this and that, but you guys are saying it. But then I also get some feedback, and we have to be honest with not transparent, but we also have to offer solutions.
Yeah,
it's very easy.
We got them.
It's very easy for us to be able to say,
yes,
get rid of the director, deputy director. We need to stop corruption.
Yes.
What would be some of the things that we can tell our audience?
Well, you're the one who wants to fire Ed Byrne, so who would you put in?
Ooh.
Yeah, but even if you fire Ed Byrne, there's a government award system for RFPs. There's a process.
Mm-hmm.
But the federal government has that process, so why can't Guam have that same process?
That's right.
No, absolutely. And for some reason, we try to reinvent the wheel when it comes to stuff like that, right? I mean, we try to make it Guam centric, but some solutions.
Well, no, because
number one for what we were trying to do is you have to come out and vote.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
If you feel that the folks within the 38 didn't do what you wanted them to do because they work for you, then you need to make a decision on that, on who you're going to vote in on the 39th. So, because there's a lot of newcomers and some old comers, right? Some old senators, previous senators that are coming back.
Sure.
That, their name is already, synonymous with, the well, no, I'm not gonna.
Oh.
But that would be easy enough to.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying
Sorry.
synonymous with being part of the legislature in the 34th, 35th. And so now they're back. So, is that the makeup that we need, right? Both from the Democrat and the Republican. Some folks that are coming back. Is that the makeup? Do we want the makeup of all just freshman senators, and half of the older, or the folks that have been there for several terms? Those are the decisions that you're going to have to make. We're pointing out things of the way that we look at it, and so we want to be able to offer solutions for everything that we're talking about. DOA, for my solution in DOA, there's a problem, and it always has to go, the buck stops with the director and the deputy director. That's where the issues should be handled, and they need to go. And you start working it down. Superintendent, if you have an issue with DOE and the superintendent is not doing the job, you can't give the superintendent 6 months. Like, it doesn't work that way. And in any business, in any private business, I've never heard of, I need 6 months to get my feet wet and kind of understand, like.
Is that what she said?
No, I'm just saying, like, in the last public hearing, they were saying, well, you've been there for 6 months already. What's going on?
She had the job before. She was the interim superintendent. And she was the senator in charge of health, education.
Within a month.
She should have solutions already.
Just tell you, CEOs in the private sector within a month, if you're not productive, you're out. The board, next meeting of the board, which happens once a month, they vote on you and you are out. As quickly as they got you in, you're out. Why is it that we can't look at it that way? We don't have time for 6 months, a
We're
year.
just so forgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking for solutions though, right?
Yes.
So would you go for, how about privatized management of the government of Guam, like they do in certain cities throughout the United States, where they have a professional management team?
I mean, if you look at it, in the areas, there's some major cities and some, like the Chicago, St. Louis, there's some smaller cities that have done this, and it has worked.
I think so.
Yeah, we have a paper from Al Israel from years ago that shows where this town, I don't know if it was Pennsylvania, it's all privatized.
Yeah.
And it's much bigger than Guam.
Right.
And so the procurement
And
issue.
the objectivity in the decisions is what we need, right?
I mean, it's still run by the government.
Right.
There's still elected officials that are managing this specific
Right,
entity.
representing the people.
Representing the people, but the decision making is being done by this external agency that's managing, and they know what to do, and they know exactly how to manage Department of Education, health,
Water systems, power.
And they're mission focused, right? I mean, again, they need to get it in their head, the government of Guam, that this is not a game. This is not some political game where you get to do it your way, jungle rules. There's people's lives at stake, right? The quality of the water that we drink, the power that's
You see the power now, the company is suing Guam
there we go.
for $11.3 million.
That's right.
You know, in the very beginning, I said that power plant needs to be built by a U.S. company under U.S. guidelines, and the quality that has to be there and the decisions that have to be made have to be consistent to help the military and to benefit the public. And also the outside, all the structure outside, it's a mess. Are they fixing that?
No.
How many crooked poles do you see on the way?
So the
when you drive?
water, the power, the education, public health, the prison. We have so many failures in the midst of all this federal funding and local taxpayer dollar going into our government.
High-paid employees, 20%
You know,
increase.
there's such a focus on coddling government employees, and then bureaucracy clearly is prime, not service. So this is, I think why Donald Trump wants to take over Greenland. I mean, he's already proven that he could take over Venezuela. I mean, how hard would it be? And they've already taken over Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. So to think that Guam's problems aren't going to rise to the level of a federal takeover, and this whole thing, this territory, which is really a part of the Department of Interior, could suddenly lose all autonomy and all these public services be managed by not a private company that of our choosing that would answer to the legislature or the governor, but rather a person that's going to answer to Donald Trump. So I mean, we are playing with fire if we don't get our act together, and we should get our butts kicked because there's a lot of problems and a lot of serious solutions that need to be applied. So we're not just about complaining. I reject that criticism that all we do is criticize. We don't just criticize. We provide hard-ass solutions. You just can't handle the truth.
Love it.
Hey, will you bring Kyle
Okay.
here, you know?
So at this point, we're going to cleanse the palate, kind of like, what's that green thing that they put on the plate so that you chew it to show the the green vegetable thing, like a broccoli or no asparagus.
No, that's when they give you the.
The lemon water.
No, every time you say
Parsley.
No.
Parsley. Kai, you're coming.
Just guessing.
Come and
You
be
know,
parsley.
Kai.
Yeah. This is Kai Akimoto. He's visiting from.
If you give me your microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
She could share.
She doesn't want me to talk anymore.
I think so.
So Jeff, this is Kai. Charlie.
Half a day. You're always
Jeff,
welcome
thank you
here.
so much. It was good to see you again.
Welcome back from Minnesota.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. It's a lot warmer. than
Yeah, that
where
make
we
a
were.
big difference in my life.
Absolutely.
So how did you like Minnesota? You done with school now?
Yes, I just finished medical school, and after 4 years of undergraduate in Minnesota, I went to the University of Minnesota for medical school. I've been coming back and forth, I think throughout these past 8 years.
So what's the plan?
Well, the plan is now I'm moving on to the next stage of training. I'm going to residency, which in my specialty of internal medicine. So that'll take 3 years, and then after that, I'm really hoping to be able to come back to Guam and be a doctor here, serve the community.
So you're going to go to Minnesota for that training?
No, I'm actually going to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles.
California.
Yes, sir.
I've been there and back.
Absolutely. Yeah, but
Tell them to come privatize GMH. You know, that would be good.
yeah, I know that Cedars has a large presence from being a referral center
Yes.
for patients from Guam. A lot of people from Guam get their specialized care out there, and that was a big influence on me to want to do my training there.
Nice.
Yeah. But
So internal medicine covers all the organs inside your stomach? Is that what it is?
it would encompass that, but it's really just a way of saying adult medicine. I guess it's like a pediatrician would take care of children.
Yeah.
Internal medicine doctors take care of adults strictly, and they're kind of a stepping stone to becoming a cardiologist or a gastroenterologist. Those are this is kind of like the categorical residency is what they call it for that. But they can also do primary care, and that's what I'm hoping to move into, staying in general medicine and having a career in primary care.
Well, I'm sure by the time you're done, the need will be even more.
Oh, I sure hope so. I know that a lot of people, part of my motivation for getting into medicine in the first place was a lot of people taking care of me throughout my upbringing.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to come back here and help take care of everyone here. And I know that I owe it to them. And a lot of these folks are getting closer to retirement age. They're I guess slowing down, and their health is becoming more of a concern. And
Sure.
This population is certainly growing on island as more people enter that age. And unfortunately, a lot of times they don't have a physician to meet their medical needs, and a lot of these people end up having to leave off island.
I've always had and since we have two doctors in the house, I've always had this question. Yeah, sorry, I may put you on the spot.
It's okay.
Why did they call it a practice? Like when you're doing surgery, you're like, yeah, I'm just practicing. Look, man, made a mistake. Sorry about that. Why did they call it a practice?
That's pretty close to the truth there.
No.
They call it the art of science, right? So artists frequently spend a lot of times when no one's looking, developing their skills and their craft. And I'm pretty sure there were several times when Michelangelo, in carving like that big statue of David, he said, "Oops," and he might have had to go back again. There's no way around it. Medicine is not an absolute science. There's a lot of skill and training that just like any art and maybe even analogous to sports. You were a baseball player, right? And There's some guys that are just talented at pitching, some guys that are just talented at hitting. And then they still have to work really hard, like Ichiro, to be even better, right? So we're seeing all kinds of great examples in sports where things are never perfect. In fact, I think Michael Jordan said that he missed most of the shots that he took, but if he didn't take any of the shots, he wouldn't have made any, right? So without a doubt, medicine is a career where people who have problems are going to come to you, and sometimes either you can't solve the problem, or in trying to solve the problem, you might make a mistake. And you, as a physician, have to first do no harm. So you have to know your limits. And I'll just make a plug for our local docs. Most of them have the great ability to know when they can't do something. And so very often, that's why we have to refer to places like Cedars-Sinai, which even there, because that's a, let's face it, that's a hospital in Beverly Hills. That's a Hollywood hospital, right? So I'm not saying that that means it's not a good hospital, but that's a hospital for people who could afford the best, and they demand the best. And if they don't get it, they sue your ass. So there's a process that goes on in Hollywood and Beverly Hills that may actually push medical care higher, but it also creates a type of medicine that most people can't afford.
No, and I think, like, using your sports analogy, Kobe Bryant, I think, probably said it best then, if you're going through that. And he said, one of the questions he said, they asked me that, as there was only 1 second left on the clock and I had the ball and I was going to take the shot, was I nervous? And the answer to that, he said, no, because I practiced that shot 30 million times. And so when it's time for that 1 second, I'm in the game. I'm in the rhythm. Right. So, but that was like a quasi joke as well, because I'm always in the bar, I'm like, why do they call it practice? That's just like a good, yeah, why do they call it a practice?
And since you were sponsoring the bar at your bar, they also call it the practice of law.
All right. Now, medicine is the reason I'm so attracted to medicine is part of this experience of developing into, technically I've graduated, but there's still so much more to learn. I've had 0 years of practice so far. And even when you're, 40 years in practice now.
So you've officially graduated?
I've officially graduated now. Done with medical school, moving on to residency now.
Sorry, you get the memo.
That's a huge deal.
Well, he's gonna have a party here at Chef's.
That's what I'm trying to do, yeah.
Oh,
in fact,
do one.
we're thinking about
one up north.
We're gonna
Okay.
yes, we'll do it north.
Well,
Like cloths on the tables.
absolutely. Yeah, in medicine, you get to learn every day. And I think more specifically, every patient that you meet is going to provide some iteration for you to apply what you've learned thus far. And so I think each day for the entirety of your career, you're going to have to learn. And
Yeah, no, absolutely, completely agree. But I want to go back. I mean, it's got to be a very proud moment, Doc. I mean, was this, have you done the ceremony where they give you the,
yeah,
you get the,
well,
what is it called?
we do the white coat at the beginning of medical school, and then you kind of wear their short coat throughout the wards, throughout your training, and then I guess when you start residency as a now you have acquired your medical degree, you get a long coat, and it's all symbolic. I don't think people really wear their coats anymore.
No, but I mean that's so. Do you?
Yeah, I do. And that's so that the coffee that I get from Beans and Brews.
Yeah, it spills all over his white coat, so we use a lot of OxyClean. Thank you.
That's amazing. Congratulations, honestly.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And you know what? And I think that and the reason why I gravitate to that, because we have UOG graduating today, and I'm sure we'll have some alums that are deciding to go into medical field.
Absolutely. And I want to say too, I have a number of colleagues who have graduated from UOG and from other schools across the nation, but are all from Guam, who are also celebrating graduations from medical school and are now moving on to the next stage. I know at least of 6, but I understand that there may be more out there.
And then they're not all graduates of St. John's.
No, these are, I think,
JFK.
Yep.
Absolutely, JFK, Simon Sanchez. There's folks from, of course, from the private schools as well. So there are a lot of kids coming from the Guam education system who are seeing the environment that their family, they themselves are subjected to, and wanting to do something about it, particularly as it pertains to healthcare. And each of the people that I've spoken to, they have some part of their mission is motivated by what I just described, being able to come back to Guam
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I was kind of compelled and honored to be talking with you guys today, is that this is your platform has certainly opened up this discourse about how can our community work towards changing towards not necessarily creating an environment that's easier for doctors to live in and work in, but more so how can doctors maximize the impact and the care that they're able to deliver to their patients. And since all of us want to be able to come back to Island, we want to be a part of that as much as we can. So appreciate being here and appreciate what you guys are talking about, particularly about I guess your call to action for the voter, the electorate as a whole to come out and vote in this upcoming election. But I think without saying it, there's this acknowledgement that I think I was reading that somewhere around 16,000 millennials and Gen Z on Guam did not turn out to the past election. And I know this is a trend observed nationally, that there's a recognizable lack of participation in a younger generation, in my generation.
And I mean, so now you're in the medical field, and and this is the real world.
Yeah.
And so now when you look at that, when you look at what is it that would drive you to vote, right? I mean, because now you're looking at, you're concentrating, you have so many things going on in your mind. Is the last thing on who you need to get as governor or as senator or as president or whoever on your mind, because you're just starting out right now, so there's so much going on. But what would compel you or push you to say, you know what, we need to go out and vote?
I think me personally, I would hope that it's enough to just recognize your civic responsibility. But as you just mentioned, there's so many competing interests. People struggle to put food on the table. They have, jobs, second jobs that they have to tend to. It oftentimes falls to the bottom of the list of responsibilities. And on top of that, maybe they're, responding to the call to action from smart folks like you to go and vote. When it comes time to decide who we're going to vote for, they've not had the time or the bandwidth to keep up to date on what the policies that people, there's an almost overwhelming amount of factors that people have to consider. And I think this might drive them to maybe not necessarily be apathetic, but just paralyzed or petrified by this overwhelming amount of information. And so what you guys are doing to kind of make it a bit more accessible to, I think, to certainly a listenership, there's a whole demographic of young folks who I think are sensing that something is up, something is not working for them, and they're being pulled towards this direction of wanting to do something about it.
Right.
But when they look at the candidates and the platforms that are being publicized, I think there is still some work to be done in terms of a campaign that speaks directly through substantive policy, list of policies that is encompassing the needs of this younger generation. I think people are recognizing, I've heard them say that this brain drain, young families, young professionals are leaving the island. I think if it was that simple of an issue where a solution was readily available, it would have already been fixed. But that's what this election is all about. That's what people are being called out to, or what they're supposed to be voting for. Someone who not even represents an answer. I think this is the distinction. I think this younger generation, at least from my observation, is a bit more practical in who they are looking to vote for. They've seen these kind of like familial pressures to decide a candidate, and they're perhaps thinking that they need to contest with that. It's either they're going to find someone who does have an answer that they can latch on to, or there's just so much dissonance between what they think is right and what their family may be asking them to do that they don't vote altogether. And
I think that happens a lot.
They want to avoid this tension rather than being caught up in you didn't support your family member, that they just don't show up completely. But if they were equipped with the rationale and the ideology, or not, sorry, away from the ideology, but more so the practical rationale, as this is the reason and the logic that I voted for this person, they, I think, would be more confident in casting that vote. But right now, I think people are put in a rock and a hard place.
It's a cockfight.
seemingly, and I think people, that does not instill confidence in this younger generation of voters.
You know, when Kai was young, he had a lot of girl customers, and they were all talking, they were having conversations, you know, telling their moms what they wanted. And Kai couldn't talk, and we thought, you know, he wasn't gonna be able to speak, so we going to get him speech therapy, but clearly he figured out how to talk. So agree, disagree, like, share, subscribe. Anton Laxon in Minnesota, this is a shout out to you. Tell Rodney Jacob to pay attention. There's lots of folks, the diaspora around the nation needs to rise up. Let your voice be known. We need to get the millennials to vote. We need to give them a reason to vote, and they should vote, I believe, for Charlie and the pirate, and let's get them into Adelaide. The change will come, and there are solutions. Sometimes people just find them too hard to come to when they're too busy selling their soul. But you know, again, we don't want to drag these young millennials into the dirt. We just want them to participate. So it's a tough line, right? Because a lot of the stuff is nasty. It's embarrassing that we're dealing with such thievery and corruption. But you know, they're old enough. If he can handle an intubation, he can handle government corruption.
You know, but and if we look at history, and I've had the opportunity to travel to Pohnpei and Palau and even like some of these other third world countries down in South America, you know, a lot of the statesmen, a lot of the folks that have become president left the country, went to Harvard, studied at MIT, then came back to their respective country or island nation. And you look at like some at Palau as well, had some statesmen that went way back, like in the 1800s, 1900s, left the island, went to study in England, in Oxford, and came back and really built the island nation as it was. But with that, you think, I guess what I'm leading to is, if we were to develop a program because the one thing that we need is engineers. The one thing that we need is more doctors, right? I mean, you go down the list of critical roles that we need, folks to manage the power plant, the hospitals, and you look at a system like Singapore, they did it backwards. They said, before we build our first refinery, we're going to send all our engineers off island, get them spun up with every single role that we need. Then we get them back. Then we develop a school system. So we have the first front. Then we have a school that now is going to start producing locally. And then we build the refinery. So the refinery gets built. We got the first set of engineers. And now we have the backups already right behind there in school. And it's just a good process. Do you think that something like that would work here on Guam? If the government was to really spend the money on what we're going to look like in the next 10, 15, 20 years, we can go down and list engineers, doctors. If we were to subsidize a program to send folks off island with the intent and commitment to come back once they graduate as doctors, engineers, and so forth, even though we have an engineering school, we have a good nursing program here as well. But, do you think something like that would, like if you were coming out of high school, would that something that intrigued you, or?
Yeah, and I think this is something that takes place in some iteration right now. And I think we are beginning to see that fruit bear as local doctors are, at least in healthcare, local doctors are coming back home and doing their best to create programs that are going to perpetuate the creation and development of more physicians. Now, I think why this is so particularly difficult with training physicians is this is at minimum 7 years of just medical school and residency. There's so much time to, I think the actual genesis of this gestation period of a physician, that this will require years and years of government support if it were to be that route. I think the other competing factors that may influence someone to decide to come back to Guam are not specific to just physicians. I think people are often looking for, is there growth in this industry for me to practice at the top of whatever discipline I trained so long to become so informed in? Is this a place where I can raise my family? Is my family going to be safe here? Will my children have,
Good education.
great opportunities, great education? Can they play on great sports teams or, do whatever? I think family is a major motivator for a lot of young professionals. And I think things that are core issues to everyone, that are basic issues in terms of housing as well. Housing, I think you guys mentioned like public transit, those things that may not influence the young professional themselves, but any of the ancillary staff that they need to make their practice, run at its, again, most optimally. And then of course, it's been more specific to healthcare, but I guess maybe this is also germane to every other young professional, is there a suitable healthcare facility if my loved one were to get sick, or if my if I were to need like inpatient care. And so because of that, like the hospital is like a really important issue, of course, for people looking to take their primarily surgical based practice to Island.
And have you been to GMH?
I have been, yes, yeah.
Or
I'd say it's been about a year since I was last there. Yeah.
soon, right? The boxes are still.
They painted it
They
recently.
just painted it. It's a little off, but parking lot.
They're adding more parking spots.
Oh, okay, that's right.
They're putting lipstick on a pig, but the thing is that I think structurally, they're making more effort to upgrade it, so it's better than it was before. So shout out to Dr. Jolene Nugent, but systemically, they still have not rectified some of the major issues. So, again, I think we're gonna eventually put him in deep water, and I'm not trying to protect him or shield him. No, because the questions you're answering are penetrating and deep, because you're that kind of a guy. I just think that their generation, I think, are doing what they need to do, and our government, to their credit, the government of Guam has put out financial support, particularly for doctors and lawyers and disciplines that we don't have at UOG. But more and more UOG is stepping up, and so we rightfully should bring that money back home. So the engineering school is great, the other ancillary services. But actually, Al-Kai doesn't mind, but he actually turned down the local scholarship because he was able to get a scholarship with the National Health Service Corps. So he has an obligation to the federal government to do service, and hopefully it'll allow him to do it here or in Palau or Pohnpei to fulfill his obligation. There are monies to help people who want to go into medicine. The real thing winds up being, like he said, is providing for a environment to bring your family back home, because almost the number one thing that influences professionals, this, Charlie, is your family. If your family can't survive, or is not doesn't like where you are, there's too many challenges, you're not going to stay. And that involves housing, transportation, education. So we have to make this community good for everybody. Everybody, not for the doctors, not for the engineers, not for the lawyers. It has to be good for everybody, and it needs to be a community that makes you proud, right? So I'm not proud of the government of Guam right now. They're shameless in their corruption. So that needs to change. And I think if we get good people in, like you and Jeff, into Adelup, I'll immediately be more proud, because I'm thinking, hey, you know what, this community has made a decision for big time change. So this election and all elections are a chance for us to renew ourselves. And I do think we're on a upward progression. Jeff's been a big part of it. He's proven you can build a successful business far away from Tuman, away from transportation, all the challenges that he faces, and yet he's proudly wearing now this black Stetson and looking like the man. He looks
My
like
mechanic gave this to me. Chuck.
a mechanic.
Hi, Chuck. Thank you.
Yeah, Chuck, thank you. Everybody out there, like, share, and subscribe, because I'm not lecturing Charlie, I'm lecturing you. Let's get this community better. Everybody wants, I think, a better place to be. And then I think, good builds on good. It's a force multiplier. But appreciate your questions.
No, absolutely. I mean, because I'm always intrigued, especially, I think that one of the things we're going to start at Beans and Barrels, and it's going to be called Beans and Barrels Incubator. And so what we want is to bring down those high school, or even maybe at the elementary, but most likely high school students, who we can get some speakers to come in and develop, the next generation of entrepreneurs or folks that want to go in engineering, and just kind of have that little talk. Because I was having this came about with a discussion I was having with somebody last week that, but they asked me a question, why did you go right versus left? And I was telling them a gangster story, because I could have gone left. In Queens, in the streets of Queens, I was doing some bad stuff, and I was going to Catholic school during the day, and then I was like this gang leader at night. I had like a double life at the age of 11. I swear, this is a crazy story, but a true story.
City story.
No. And I had to hide every time I would live out of school because I didn't want to see the kids that I was leading. That I went to Catholic school and I was wearing a tie, so I had to run home and change and put in like a different outfit, and it's crazy, really crazy story in New York. But I wish that at that time that I had more mentors, and I think that we need more mentors. You're an amazing for everything that you've accomplished, and I get that not just because you're the son. I get that because I've had really deep conversations with you, and the mindset that you have, and every discussion that we've had has never been about becoming rich or anything else. It's about helping the community, helping people, doing what you love, the medical field, and everything has been with the intent of the region, how to.
I appreciate that, and I love the idea of an incubator, kind of just a space to have these discussions with, aimed at this younger demographic. Because what I'll share, and you just witnessed it here, is that well, no, but no, more so is that there's this I think recognition of the toxicity regarding these like civic discourse, that many parents are going to try and keep their children as far away from as possible. And it wasn't until I think maybe like 2-3 years ago that I'm starting to pay attention for myself, and news is getting to me before he can stop it. And so I imagine that this is happening at every level for a lot of kids. And so what you're describing is sort of like this this supplementation of civics education that I think that is part of this, how should I say, apathy or feeling of being unequipped of this younger voter base that I think we really need to rectify, and movements like this to create this engagement. And maybe this is something that parents, you might try to find a way to have these tough discussions about why the community looks the way it is, without just saying, you'll find out when you're older. Like these are important things for your children to grapple with, because as soon as I started finding out why, I'm trying to find out, okay, how do we fix this?
And I think revolutions historically have started in coffee shops and in pubs, in Pirate Nation type establishments. So Jeff's Pirate Coves, Beans and Barrel represent, I think, this generation's meeting place, and in many ways, like the graduate school education on civics, like he's mentioning. And so thank you for opening your facility. Again, I think a lot of people are just kind of praying for you because it's a tough time and it's a lot of work, but it's inspirational. And Jeff's been doing it successfully for a long time. We want it to be even more successful. So everybody come down today and celebrate this Sunday with the Pirate. We're going to be headed over there in a few minutes to break bread and then go over to Beans and Barrel, because you guys have a full Sunday schedule as well.
So until 6 p.m. we'll be open, and then we have actually graduation events happening tonight. So
wow, awesome.
I was actually already doing that, right? Giving back to the community. You founded a nonprofit.
Oh, yeah. I work with a number of, not just me, but a number of my friends, really, who are among those people who graduated from medical school. We put together a group that's focused on mentorship for high schoolers and college students who are interested in trying to become doctors, and help us be a part of this effort to improve healthcare in this region. So our group is called Challen Amti. We have a website, and I'll share that. Like, none of the things that I'm saying, everything I'm saying here is my own individual opinion. The group represents only pre-medical mentorship at this time. So really grateful for all the support that we've gotten from everyone. And
so can we congratulate Megan? Did she graduate?
No, Ryan graduated. Megan is doing a master's of public policy, actually.
So Megan Gimmon, though, is a previous valedictorian at the University of Guam. I think she was a biology student there, and our family's from Yap. She represents again a whole group of other people that have taken the research route. So she's taking instead of going into clinical training in the hospital, she's doing her master's of public health.
Well, she's doing a master's of public policy right now, and then but she's finishing her clinical training. And this is just one other tool in the toolkit for her to effectuate the most change she can as a physician when she returns.
So she was one of the other founders, and then the other guy he mentioned, Ryan, who is graduating.
He just graduated. He's doing general surgery.
From Harvard Medical School.
Yeah, both of them are.
He spent most of his last couple of months doing surgery or
In Palau.
In Palau, and
It,
he was actually in Chuk when the typhoon happened, didn't he?
Were they in Chuk? I think they might have been.
What's his name? Brian?
Ryan Beneventi.
So this child hunting group represents the kids, not just the millennials, not just sitting by playing video games and not worrying about themselves and their belly buttons. They're actually worried about the world. And we challenge the rest of you out there to do the same, because engineering, like you mentioned, accounting, and just civic mindedness, right? We absolutely need our teachers to also rise up and be compensated on a national level. We just need to do a lot of things better so people can stay home. But if you wait for us to do it, me and Charlie, we got other things to do, and Jeff too. It does take, I think, lifting yourself up, and then people will come and praise you and hopefully help you out along the way. And then if you want to get an attaboy from us, we will. And so for anybody out there who wants us to maybe talk more about what you're doing, this is a great platform, as Kai has mentioned. A lot of people listening, and we thank you for staying tuned to our future shows as we talk about more about what Guam is doing.
And the website is chalamenti.org.
Yes, it is. For those who want to find out more information. Yeah.
So we are headed up on the lunch hour, and
now we're going to actually do our +1, -1.
okay.
Unless Dr. has something else you wanted to go over?
What is this? What is this?
Except if there were any comments.
We do have a lot of comments. First of all, I just want to say that Patrick, everyone knows Patrick, okay? And there are a long list of comments from him. Richard Leon says, there's still no talk about the Guam judiciary corruption. Dave Duenas says, let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer or the right answer. Let us not seek to fix blame to the past. Let us accept
That's still Dave?
Yeah, that's Dave. Okay.
Very statesman-like, yeah.
Yes, and then we have other people who chimed in as well. Miho Osaka,
Hi, Neil.
Jerome McDonald. He says 500 million is missing due to fraud. Recap for the last 60 years, there's been a lot of you scratch my back and I will scratch your back. So that is true. Peter Lozano says current incumbent legislature is not the solution. They're the problem, not working to work. And Johnny Utah says, until the local FBI office is checked and willing to board a grand jury indictment on Josh and the majority of Guam's politicians, it will be the same as always. It's going to take DC action to change Guam.
Right on, Johnny. Get Trump over here and Goj and Elon Musk, and let's check it out.
And then we have Amiho said Hafadeka Akimoto.
Hi.
Shan Ackerman, good evening from Washington State.
Hello.
And Patrick
Shan.
Moriarty, who has a lot of comments.
That's bad.
Okay, so we'll read one of them. A lost golden opportunity to execute the governor. The governor is a hypocrite aside from being a taxpayer and thief and a high-tech crook, and she's attending this memorial service to honor veterans, ? And there's just a whole statement. Okay. And there's 3 of those.
I don't condone violence. I don't
Yes. And then that's it. There's many people who came in and out to support. And there you go, guys. But now we're moving on to Hafa Hour, the +1 -1.
Okay.
If you're watching online, you can play with us. You can give a plus or minus to the candidates of your choice. We're talking about gubernatorial candidates, and we'll start with Doc because he has his +1 up and he's ready.
Yeah.
You can go last, so you'll see what he did.
My +1 is to Jeff and Charlie for fighting the good fight, and this politics stuff is brutal. Really appreciate their courage and just their sincerity, and there's a lot of folks who really appreciate what they're doing. But let's have those lot of folks then vote. on August 1st. Write in Charlie and Jeff. And don't worry, I mean, the primary is not the end of the road, but let's let everybody on Guam know where we stand. Viva Pirate Nation. That's my positive. And then I'm just going to randomly, it's not randomly. I'm going to go negative with Josh, because Josh has been the governor several times now in the last couple of weeks, and there's just been a lot of things where he can stand up and show us what's he going to do when he really is the governor, because he's been acting. And that lame legislation to kind of force the Cortec contract through despite the protests, that's not the way to go, buddy. You got to get everybody in the room and just resolve this issue once and for all and break ground. That passing the buck to the legislature, if that's how you're going to be governor, then I don't want you to be my governor.
Thank you, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Charlie, I guess you can go.
Oh, we go? Yeah, I mean, we're putting a plug for ourselves again.
Do it.
But I think that, yeah, we're gonna, Jeff and I, and the reason being is because I think the Pirate Nation and the way that I described it, even to last night with a group of people that came in towards the end as we were closing, but we still kept it open, and we had a really good conversation. And they always ask, like, how did you and Jeff come together? And when I explained the planks, when I came, explained a little bit of the Pirate Nation. Pirate Nation was a sort of, it was almost just not a club, but it was just almost like, Pirate Nation, but it actually started getting definition, it picked up strength, and now it's a movement.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be part of this Pirate Nation. I mean, there's a lot of folks that are the last thing I say is the last discussions that we had was like, you need to join the Pirate Nation, and they said, yes, we want to join the Pirate Nation. So it's a movement. It's a legit movement now. So for everything that we stand for there, myself and Jeff. On the -1, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it to the speaker and Mary. Only reason being is because not seeing too much, on the campaign front. I know they put out a couple of videos which might be AI generated, quasi, but we need to see a little bit more on your platforms, on what you're doing, and don't make the commercials awkward. That's what I would say. That some of them kind of feel a little awkward, and just be very transparent, just the way you guys are. Just the way Frank and Mary are, very transparent. Just be yourself. Don't look like it's scripted. Okay, that's my next one.
All right.
Okay, Jeff.
Okay. No matter what we do, Pirate Nation, the Force, you name it, I'm up for me and Charlie. I give us the +1. And my -1 is always going to be for the Democrat team of Josh and Tina, because this last trip going through the Cortex and all this stuff at Simon Sanchez, it's just more hogwash. And I believe that we have to find solutions there, not, make everybody mad and go backwards and raise the cost and all that. It's got to get done. So my minus is for Josh and Teeny.
Okay, well, I've never seen this segment before, so thank you for explaining it to me. But I guess I feel particularly grateful to to Jeff and Charlie today for
okay.
having me.
Because they would, if we put Josh Pleadwell, it's still.
They might, you never know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be closer to home.
Yes, always thankful for being here and for the conversations I've been able to have. And I guess the -1, this is pretty contentious, but no, I'll just say only -1 today. I'll just say for Josh and Charlie again today, because I think Jeff and Charlie today. Just because it's Hafa Hour, and we keep letting my dad talk too long, and they're going over an hour. So
Hour and a half.
exactly. So thank you.
It's okay, Dad. Go ahead.
I'll let you go because we're supposed to put you in the political side too. So, and the final question here, Kai, have you heard the song?
Oh, I can't do this part. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Oh, thank you for everyone for tuning in.
You've never seen your daddy?
No, I can't do this part, guys. I have something to get to. I apologize.
He went to a Bruno Mars concert, so he has.
Listen, you got moves, you gotta show up, so.
That's a party. I mean, you would dance like dancing to Bruno Mars.
Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy!
Is this like
the short virgin?
Is this like the exit song? Oh, okay.
Oh, for a die Guam. Here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Bigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map. Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our start up loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud.
8 minutes.
Leaning closer, the real talk run. How good to man. Everybody has one. No wish on this ship. No fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth. Watch the whole place rise.
Yeah, you guys have got it down.
Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered.
Is this how long is it?
Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered.
It's too long.
Ahoy, ahoy. Sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true sicker, yeah, we believe it.
Whatever creates engagement.
Yeah.
Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Chalo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada Camacho names in the race. No banners on this day,
moving in
just
officially.
shoot to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall.
Mansion.
Continue
Yeah,
to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagonya to 2 months, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise.
I guess so. No, I should have said this earlier. Defend Cedar Sinai, but they're actually the largest independent provider of services to Medicaid in the state of California. Yeah. To Medicaid, yeah.
Ahoy, sing it, don't
They go to
filter
UCLA.
it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it.
Oh, really? Yeah, West Hollywood. I need to, yeah.
Everybody now,
Canada.
Unfiltered.
UCLA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a little bit down the road.
You'll find it.
Bridge when the
I'll
night
find it.
wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tight sing, Guam sing along.
Just amazing.
Continue to continue.
I need to look for Rex. I've never really been to, I guess, that part of LA before. My brother kind of lives in that area, so yeah, he's got all these places to take me to. I can take him to Fat Sal's then.
Ask him about Fat Sal.
Yeah,
There's a lot of problems tomorrow. That's it, everybody.
there are.
Wave, shake hands, everybody come down to Jeff.
Come down to Jeff's.
Come down, come up if you're down. Come down if you're up.
Hopefully to raise Jeff's spirit. Election thing. Are we on still?
And Gary, yes, and Gary Timino says, Viva Guam.
All right, Viva Gohan.
Viva!
A few moments later.
Time to go.
Story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
I'll make you proud, Grandma. Promise.
That's better. Okay, we're done.
The property lines.
Sir, please wait here.
I need you to stay by the car.
Okay, I got it.
Just tell me what happened.
Has been breached. Confirmed reports of multiple attacks in the capital.
Please, we're now in a state of alert.
Go!
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. You that wanna know what we're all about. It's like this, y'all.
It's your record. I cannot get it out in the mail tonight.
Concentrated power of will. 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100%
Come on in.
Yes. But I didn't.
Details emerging of a major political scandal shaking the island.
But I didn't expect it here. Where else would it be?
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Over a die Guam, here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. How good nya to man, everybody has one. No wish on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya tutumon, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies bridge when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent Pirate Party. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for truth seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.